So her question is, when one is surrendering, how can we help that? Like, how can we help the process? Do we just stay present in the moment? It's a great question. The less you think, I got to surrender, I got to surrender, I got to surrender, I got to surrender. How do I surrender? Why do I surrender? What is surrender? The less you think about surrendering and the more you allow, the more you surrender. Surrender is not a thought process. Surrender is not even an intellectual understanding. That's why no one understands what surrender is. Surrender is a moment of trust in something bigger than yourself. Surrender can only happen when you, are you ready for the word? Feel. When you feel your connection to divinity. That's when surrender happens. Surrender doesn't happen when you understand it. We have literally got a world of people, a spiritual world of people going, I want to surrender. Everyone's telling me I got to surrender. Not understanding that even if they understand what surrender is, it's not going to help them surrender. Surrender is an energetic experience because it's a state of being. The world is geared to tell you to think your way through the difficult feelings, to analyze the hell out of them, and then to go and understand healing modalities, to go and learn intellectually, understand, wrap your head around how to do something. There's two components to surrender that we're going to be looking at. The one component is allowing, and the other one is feeling, or we could use another word here, connecting to your divinity. Because you have to have something bigger than you. That's important when you surrender. And one of the reasons why people can't or don't is because the concept sounds lovely. It's basically the moment you stop fighting the world. That's what surrender is. Surrender is not giving up. It's simply you not fighting. It's you not resisting. It's you not avoiding. It's you not denying. This is wonderful. It's you allowing. Okay, all of this is good. But there is an autopilot that you cannot navigate past inside of you. No matter how much you understand what it is you've got to do, there is an autopilot. It's like an automatic program that pops up unconsciously, so you don't even know it's happening. It's not even in your awareness, that will not trust something, will not trust life, will not trust the process of surrender when you're not safe to surrender. So how do you get safe? You get safe when you feel the presence of divinity. You feel safe when you let it hold you. And we're going to practice. We're going to practice. Because it is not a mental practice, right? It's an energetic allowing. Imagine what it feels like to feel safe in the world. Most of us forgot. Most of us have no recollection, and we don't even aim for it. Most of us don't walk around saying, oh, I wish I felt safe in the world. We don't do that because we don't hope for it, because we think it's not available, because we're so used to feeling unsafe that we call it normal. We're so used to feeling alone in the world that we don't even say, hey, I feel alone in the world. We just say, hey, this is normal. This is life. When you feel safe, surrender's so easy. Then you don't try to surrender. But what would make you feel safe? The sense, not the thought, the sensation of something beyond the ego, bigger than the ego, which is divinity, which is what? It's your soul. And your soul is an entire I want to use the word matrix, but I stop myself because I know a lot of people misunderstand the word matrix. Your soul matrix, like your cellular matrix, this is your cellular expression, your cellular reality is your body. Your soul matrix is simply a way of saying your oversoul, the components that create your soul. Matrix simply means creation. Doesn't mean a trap. It doesn't mean anything bad. False matrix certainly does. The false matrix is absolutely the place that we are here to evolve beyond. It's what's caused us so much pain. But nonetheless, the support, when we talk about feel supported, we're talking about the support from your soul matrix, which is what? Man, as big. Your soul matrix includes God because God is part of your soul. Your soul is part of God. Your soul never lost its connection to God. You did at the human level. We all know that. So when I say to you, we're going to connect with divinity, I mean we're going to connect with your soul that has only ever lived in that established connection and doesn't know any kind of disconnect. You do, your soul doesn't. And that's invaluable to your healing process. And the reason why that's invaluable is because it means that you can now tap into a part of you that holds the answers, a part of you that is infinite, eternal, all-knowing, and wise. But why couldn't you do that before? Because it's so accessible now. Because we couldn't connect to it before. Because we can now. Because the veil is down. We had to wait all this time. We had to wait all this time. We had to slog it out alone or feeling alone and work really hard to get some kind of sense of connection. We had to work really hard to get some kind of feeling of safety in the world, work really hard to get some kind of support in the world. You do not have to work really hard to do that right now, but you ready for the next one? You do have to work really hard to bypass the ego. Because now the ego is challenged in a way that it hasn't been challenged before. Because the ego is going, excuse the hell out of me. Sorry, what? Soul? Who? Where? What? Why? Someone else is coming in and stealing my show, trying to run the joint that I've been running. Excuse me? No, not on my watch. That's what the ego is going to say. The ego is going to say, soul schmoll, that's an intruder. We don't want that person. Remember earlier, I said there's an automatic block that comes up. You won't even know that it's come up because it comes from your subconscious. That blockage that comes up that blocks you from receiving, accessing the support, from surrendering is your ego. It's on autopilot. And it's triggered when the soul is here because it's going to go, this is a big threat to me. If the soul comes in, I go out. If the soul comes in, I dissolve. If the soul comes in, I cease to be. That's the issue now. The issue is not, can I please be supported? That's not the issue anymore, guys. Please take a moment and just let it in, because what I've just said should be so mind-blowing and monumental to you. What? I've just spent a lifetime, you might say to yourself, I've just spent a lifetime feeling so alone. And now what Kerry's saying is, I'm not so alone, but I feel so alone. So what's that about? It's about the ego blocking you from feeling the connection to the divinity that is now in ample supply, that is now so readily available, so readily accessible.